So today's discussion is dual circuit track, and there's not a lot of information out there, and you really should hire an electrician who's very familiar with track lighting systems, and dual circuit track adds some complexity to your project, but sometimes it's well worth it. We're going to take a look at this track here real quick, and we're going to come back to it, and I'm going to take and push out the bus bars, and the bus bars are held in by these little plastic channels, and I'm pushing them out here so you can see how they're set in the track. And they need to be flexible for when the track fixture goes in. So in a dual circuit track, there's actually 4 copper bus bars. And you can see them here. Here's 1, 2. And I'm going to take the track on this other side here and show you the others. And there they are. Should be able to see those there. Those are the copper bus bars, and power runs down it. And you must make connection or your light fixture is not going to work. So before we get too far into the actual dual circuit track and dual circuit track fittings, let's look at the connector on the bottom of a light fixture. Now this is a line voltage fixture. This is an H style, and this has a hot, a ground, and a neutral. Now there's only 3 of them, and you're asking yourself, well, how does that work in a dual circuit track? Well, here's how it works. The hot is adjustable. So in this position, it's on one circuit, and if you take a needle nose pliers and kind of just grab it gently, you can take it and pull it up to the second position. And it's kind of hard to do this here with a camera right next to my fingers, but let me pull it up here for you. We're not pulling it out, we pulled it up. And I'm gonna rotate it here so you can see it better. So here's the other position. Now if it's between positions, it's not going to conduct electricity at all. So that's one position, and this is the standard position. This what I call this down position, this is the position it's in if it's in one circuit track. And if dual circuit track, it's either in this position or the second position, depending on what circuit you want to put it in. Now I'm going to take the light fixture and I'm going to put it in the track for you, and the next shot you're going to see is a close-up of this light fixture in a dual circuit track from the end of the track. So this is a shot of a line voltage light fixture connected to the very end of the track. You wouldn't actually ever have it this close to the end of the track. It wouldn't work very well. And we're trying to show you here the connections hitting the copper bus bars. This copper bus bar is actually pulled out a little bit so you can see it, and you'll be able to see the ground is hitting here. There's the ground connector is way inside there. Neutral would be right underneath the ground, and the adjustable hot is over on this side. Like I said, there's 2 hots on one side, a ground and a neutral on the other. So you need to be aware of this, keep the polarity of your track properly in alignment, and you're not mixing your hot and your neutrals or your hots and your grounds, or trying to force your light fixture in the wrong direction. So I'm going to take the light fixture out here so you can see it from this track. So there's the hot and the neutral coming out right there. You can see how they're hitting the bus bars inside. So it just rotates out, and there's the hot, the ground, and the neutral. And there's, hopefully you can see inside the bus bars, which are floating inside of a plastic channel. So just wanted to give you a little quick overview on how some of these connectors work. We're actually going to go through a number of connectors right now. All right, this next part that we're going to take a look at is the mini joiner. And this is a dual circuit track mini joiner. This is dual circuit track, like we talked about before. 2 hots on one side, hot and a neutral on the other side. So you got to make sure that when you look at your connector, we're going to turn this one all the way over, upside down. This is the ground right here. And the ground is connected together, and it has this little burr set up, these little burrs that stick up. And when you shove this in the track, these little burrs catch inside the track to make it difficult to remove from the track. If you want to be able to remove it, you got to push those flat. Once they're flat, they're flat. They're hard to get back up. You need to know they're there, though. And this is a mini joiner for a dual circuit track. It looks very different than the mini joiner for a single circuit track, standard track. It has these like H-style connector fins here, and contact points. The ground and the neutral on one side, and 2 hots on the other. And I'm going to take the connector, just kind of turn it here in my fingers, so you can get a good idea what it looks like. If the connector that you have doesn't look like this one, there's something wrong. please give us a call. We can talk about it. And the little mini joiner has set screws, Phillips head set screws, that after you put it into the track, you screw these down. Don't screw them all the way down. Screw them flush with the top of this connector. They're made just to kind of stabilize a connector. If you screw them in too far, they'll actually take the track and warp it out. And when you go put your light fixtures in, they won't make contact. So this is the mini joiner. This is a dual circuit straight connector, not a mini joiner. Here's the mini joiner right next to it. The mini joiner simply connects two tracks together and the power runs through from one track to the next. The inline power connector also joins two tracks together mechanically, but you can open it up and remove the wire jumpers so you could isolate the two separate tracks electrically. So join together mechanically or isolated electrically or join together electrically. And this also has a power knockout. So if you're looking from above, you could take it here and knock this out and run power into it. And this is a straight connector, and it's covered. So dual circuit track straight power feed connector, dual circuit track mini joiner. Quite a bit of difference. This is a dual circuit H-style track connector. Dual circuit though. And I've taken the 3 screws out of this to show you what it looks like on the inside. On the inside there's jumpers that go from one side to the next, and they're color coded. And as you know, the white is the neutral and the black and red are hot. There's a ground screw down here, and that's where your ground would come in. Now, if you need to isolate your track electrically, but keep it all together mechanically, you can remove some of the jumpers. And it's tight, it's a tight connection. So when you come in with your power, it will be tight. And I want to show you the back side of the connector so you can see down here. And it does have a point here where you can pivot this connector. And on the dual circuit track, we don't recommend coming and bringing power into this connector. Power should come in another location. Try not to bring it into this T connector. And this is an H-style dual circuit track T connector. And you can tell by here the contact points. There's 2 on each side. And ground is carried through the bottom piece. So it's easy to find the ground connector because it's all connected to this. This is the dual circuit L connector, and I'm going to give you a little shot here inside so you can see it. This is the neutral, and there's 2 hots, and there's a ground screw here, and this joins 2 pieces of track together to form an L. It also has a pivot on the bottom, so you can actually change the direction. You'll have to tuck your wires back in, but that's what it's for. So you can change the direction and keep the polarity in your track correct. And your electrician will have no problem with that. There's also a knockout here on the bottom. We'll flip this over, take a screwdriver, and you can pop this out. So you can bring power directly into an L connector from above. So that's an important thing to know. So dual circuit track, as always, has 4 contact points. 2 on one side and 2 on the other. And the ground's very easy to identify. That's it right here. So that's the ground tab. The ground carries through the chassis of the connector and actually comes out the other side on the other side of the connector. So there's no separate wire on the inside for the ground. And this is the dual circuit track connector. Want to show you the X connector for dual circuit track. We've taken the screws out so you can see on the inside. It's pretty busy in here. And this is set up right now to take power from these 2 tracks here and these 2 tracks here, and they are isolated. So your power feed's going to have to probably come in from another location, or you can knock it out here. But these jumpers are made to be removed if necessary. And again, your electrician will be able to get it all wired correctly for you. I'm going to take it and flip it over and show you the other side. So you can see the back of the X connector. And again, all dual circuit track has 4 contact points. This is a dual circuit track power feed for surface mount locations. So if you were going to mount this like on a concrete ceiling, this would work well for you because it's designed so the power is going to come here at this end as a conduit or a flex. So you can bring the conduit in and the wiring, and I'm going to take the little cover off here so you can see inside the power feed. So power would be coming in here through this end and making its contact here with ground, here with neutral, and here with the two hots. And this is dual circuit track, so it's different than the standard single circuit track. So I'm going to just kind of give you a little look at it here so you can see how it all goes together. It's actually very simple. Good electrician will have no problem getting this installed for you. And again, this is a conduit power feed. Usually it's for mounting on a surface of something, a concrete ceiling or a beam or something where the power is running along the surface with it. This is a standard power feed for dual circuit track. Again, it has the 4 contact points, and it's made to have the power come from above and come through this knockout, half-inch knockout. And the power would come into the connector here, and the ground would connect here, neutral, and the two hots. Very simple end power feed for dual circuit track. And we do have other accessories, cover plates to cover junction boxes, and adapters and some other items on our website. Just kind of wanted to show you the basics here today. This is a dual circuit track floating canopy. And people wonder, like, how does it work inside there? Because there's 2 circuits. Well, this is a shot of how it works inside here. It's very tight working, and it's hard to show here because we don't have a junction box to wire into. But what it is, it's 2 connectors that go into the track. One of them has just a single hot wire, which is picking up that extra hot line, and the other one has a neutral, a hot, and the ground. But this is how it's done, and the connector comes with these 2, the junction box cover and the main plastic cover to cover the track. And we're showing it here in white just so you can kind of get an idea of how it all works. But it's actually very, very simple. It is a very tight space. Your electrician will pull these wires up through into the junction box above. But this is the floating canopy setup for dual circuit track.
At Total Lighting Supply, we understand the importance of your time. Not everyone can be a lighting expert. We're not just about selling you light bulbs, light fixtures, and light components. We're also about helping you achieve amazing and successful lighting results in your space. We hope that our video series will assist you in achieving your lighting goals.